Hi everyone, it's Holly with Journal with Dolly, and today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be talking through some hints and tips for if you're a beginner journaler, and if you're thinking of wanting to start a journal, you're not really sure where to start, and you don't know what a lot of the terminology is that we use in this community, and you just need some help really. So what I've done is I've actually written a bit of a script for this video, which honestly I never ever do. I always just come on here and talk at you with whatever's in my brain. So I hope that this is actually really good and it gives you some information on how to start. Now, if you've already started and you're just watching this, I do that as well. I sometimes go right back to basics and watch these sorts of beginner videos because I think they're really interesting and quite helpful, even if you're in a bit of a slump or anything. So hello if you are a journaler and you're just joining just for the lols. That's fine. So the first thing to think about when you're wanting to start a journal is, what do you want it for? Okay, so, what is the reason why you're wanting to start a journal? So is it that you've got family members and you're wanting to leave them like a little heirloom? Is it that you're wanting to do it for your mental health? Is it because you're wanting to do it for a new hobby and you're just wanting to do it for yourself? Is it that you're wanting to do bullet journaling or some sort of planner? Or is it that you're wanting to get into your creative side and you're wanting to do art? Or is it that you're just wanting to record your memories? So it's really important to think about what it is that you want to do journaling for, because that'll help you make a decision on all sorts of things, like the notebook that you need to be using, the budget that you might need to set aside to get your supplies, all these sorts of things are really, really important to think about when you're wanting to start a journal. Now, personally, my reason is I find it very, very relaxing. I like it because it's fun and it's a little bit quirky. If you've seen me before, if you know me in person, you'll know that I'm quite a quirky person anyway, so I like this. It's an added layer to my personality. And unfortunately, we do actually have quite a big history of dementia in my family, so I want to be able to record my memories as much as I can whilst I can remember, because I've got really, really good memory. Not to say that I will get something like that when I'm older, but I am aware of it, and it is something that does frighten me quite a bit, so I like to have all my things written down. So the next thing what you want to be thinking about is, what is the purpose of the journal? Is it that you're wanting, like I say, a planner or a bullet journal? Is it that you're wanting to do stream of consciousness writing? Is it that you want to have an art journal? Is it that you want to have a travel journal? Is it that you want to have a dream journal? Is it going to be just everyday kind of writing and a memoir and a memory book? Like, have a think about what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some of my journals to give you kind of a thing to think about, like, is that the type that I would like to do? So first up, we've got my Fibonacci, and I'm going to be going into terminology a little bit later on to kind of tell you about what these things mean. So if you're new here, you might be thinking, what on earth is a Fibonacci? But don't worry, I'm going to be telling you later on about what that is. My lovely friend Elizabeth as well, Never Hopeless by Elizabeth, has a brilliant video explaining all about what a Fibonacci is and the differences between this and different types of journals. So go over to her channel and she will tell you a little bit more about it in a little bit more detail. But this is the journal that I'm currently using, and I record basically my everyday activities in here. In here, it is not my deepest, darkest thoughts and my, feelings and everything. It's none of that. It is literally just what happened in the day. Maybe a little bit about feelings, but nothing like you would have in a typical journal. It's just more about what happened, if I enjoyed myself, what we had for food, that kind of thing, that mundane thing that you think is not worth writing about, but actually it really, really is. Another type of journaling that I like to do is art journaling. This is my art journal, And in here, I just like to unwind and kind of just put things together. So this could be the type of journaling that you might want to do if you're just looking into getting kind of a more creative outlet. I actually did this on a live. You can go and watch that. It's in the playlist, in the live playlist. And I just started doing some stuff here, which I'm going to finish. But yeah, an art journal is a really good idea. If you're wanting just to kind of have something to glue things in and just see what your style is like and that kind of thing. Next up, I've got my list journal. So we're going to open this. It's actually out anyway. I didn't realise that. And my list journal is it is literally what it sounds like. It's just a book of lists. So I find it very handy to have. I love lists. So if you're like me, then this will probably you'll really like this. And this is a little bit like a bullet journal in a way, because it's got to-dos in it, and it's also got in it things like things called collections. Again, I will be telling you what a collection is a little bit later on. So this is bullet journaling, and this is what I did to get into journaling originally. So as you can see, the book is absolutely screwed, and I started doing this at university. Now, I don't do bullet journaling anymore purely because I don't need to, quite honestly. Like, it's not something that I need to do anymore because I don't have that much going on if it's not work. So like when I was at university, I had loads of different things going on. I had like my dissertation, so I did like a word tracker. I had loads of rehearsals because I did drama and all that kind of thing. So I found it really important. Look, I didn't even finish that. I found it really, really important to kind of make these to-do lists every single day. I mean, look at this. This is all notes from my one of my lectures that I had to do this week, a habit tracker for the week. I found it really, really helpful to have this when I did, but I just don't need this type of thing anymore. This isn't just, it's just not the type of journaling that I want to do anymore because I don't need it. But I absolutely love doing it, and it really, really helped me when I was at uni, I have to say. It really did. So yeah, there's a bit of a flip through of a bullet journal for you. Now, if you're wanting to do bullet journaling, you've come to this video with the sole purpose of doing bullet journaling. This is going to be a little bit more about creative journaling and scrapbooking and that type of thing. However, the things that I'm going to be covering all relate to bullet journaling in some way. So you can take the things that I tell you and put them into a bullet journal setting. That's absolutely fine. You could also do bullet journaling a little bit like this. This is what I started when I first moved to Leeds, because I was missing doing journaling. So before I discovered creative journaling, this is what I was doing. And there is a video about this over on my channel, and I think it's called something like past projects or something. I'll leave the link in the description, but you can go and see. I mean, like you can see, I didn't even do this for very long. It literally was just to try and get me back into journaling because I'd stopped, but then I found creative journaling, which I'll show you in a little bit. I also have something called a dream journal, which is a pretty new thing which I started. I actually decorated this front cover, which I'm really happy with actually. I think it looks really good, and I put like packing tape over the top, and it just looks like this. And all I'm doing in here is just recording my dreams, because I have quite a lot of dreams and I find them really interesting. So I've just like pre-decorated some of the pages, and the background I've actually done that with blur pens. So you know, little things that you have when you were a kid and you blur the top and then it kind of like spills out. That's what the paper really looks like, and that's what I've done to it. So I kind of think it looks kind of magical. So that's what that is. So the next thing that you want to think about is the style that you want to do your journaling in. Now, a lot of people like to do it simple with just writing. Some people like to do it creatively, like a scrapbook like I do, or you can do a mixture. The best thing to do is just to see what works for you and what you like, because you eventually will find your style. It really does take time, and that's something that I just wanted to talk about next, is that I get loads of questions all the time on my Instagram about how did you find your style, your journals look better than mine, oh my god, I feel really uninspired because yours is really good. Like, enough of that. Stop comparing your work with other people's work, right? The reason yours doesn't look like that is because it's not yours. Like, everybody's journals are going to be different, and that's absolutely fine. Like, and you'll learn a style eventually. So I'm going to quickly show you this, because I think this sort of direct comparison is really, really important. So this is the first journal that I ever made. This was the 4th of September 2017. So this was my first ever journal that I made where I wanted to do it creatively. Now look at this. This looks nothing like what I do now. I thought I was being well funky there, putting a yellow background. Look at this. This flips up and there's like a thing there. So I was trying to get a little bit more quirky here with a tip in there, wow. See? And then, this was last year's. Can you see the difference? Look at that difference. You would not think that they were from the same people, would you? At all. I don't think. Unless you looked at the handwriting, you wouldn't know. So the important thing is to just honestly take your time and find your style, you know? And mine's evolved again. This doesn't look anything like my Furniture that I'm keeping at the moment, and that's fine. It's totally fine. The next thing I'm going to say is to just try and set some time in your day to go through your journal. If you can't do it every single day, that is totally fine. I'm still behind in here from February. Ta-da! There's still empty pages in here, and that's totally fine. The best thing to do is just to have a way of keeping track of what you've done and why you're behind. So like these days, I actually know exactly what I did because I was so busy. That's why I've actually not finished the pages. But you can write like post-it notes on, you can use Google Calendar, you can use just like write bullet points, you can write like lists on your phone if you want. There's all sorts of things that you can do which will help you keep up to date, and you don't have to write every single day. I mean, this is totally new for me, this Furniture and doing it every single day is a brand new thing. These journals that I've just shown you, these I did kind of every time something fun happened, so I would never ever just do the normal everyday stuff. This was only if we went somewhere or if my friends came. This was my granddad's birthday, this was a gig that we went to, Amsterdam, Christmas, like it was always when we did something. So yeah, look, like going for a meal out, going for a meal out. It was always a gig again. It was always to do with something, and now I don't do that. I just do every single day. So if you're wanting to wait for that, then do that instead. Another thing that I would suggest is to try and get involved in journal communities as best you can. The journal community is amazing. Like, there's so many things you can get involved with, there's so many people that you can talk to, and you can join Facebook groups. There's absolutely loads on Facebook. If you just type journaling, you'll get bullet journal groups, you'll get art journal groups, you'll get creative groups. My feed on my Facebook now is just loads and loads of art stuff, and that's absolutely fine. And if you don't have Facebook, then go on something like Instagram. You're here on YouTube, comment on my videos. If you comment, you're more than likely to find somebody that'll be more than happy to chat with you. And also, I do Facebook Lives now. I did my first one a couple of days ago, and everybody had a great time on there. We're all chatting, all having a good time, so that's a really good thing to do as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to go on to supplies that you should start out with, kind of the basics. So the first thing that I would say is pens. I think everybody gets overwhelmed with pens. Now I'm going to show you what I use. I use these. These are just Papermate large felt tips. I got these from, I think, Wilco's or something. They look like that. That's what I do my backgrounds with. I also do my backgrounds with these Cray Box watercolor pens. They're double-ended. They're a little bit funny now because I've had them ages. These were from Lidl. And they're the best pens I've ever used for backgrounds. In terms of writing equipment, these are my favourite pens ever. They're called the Papermate Flair Inkjoy Gels, and they're brilliant. They're really good. They write over everything. They're also really eco-friendly because you can do this, and then you can just put the new cartridge in. So these are not going to landfill, which I do really like. And yeah, they're just a clicker. They're my favourite. But another favourite is free pens, guys. I love a free biro. I had another one in here, but I think it's on the settee and I'm not going over for it. But I absolutely love free pens. This is an old pen from my old work. And I got loads before I left because I really liked the feel of these pens. You don't have to spend a lot of money on your pens, you know, you really, really don't. I don't. Like I said, cheap pens are my favourite, free pens, anything like that. In here I've also got a couple of pencils, some highlighters, a couple of gel pens, a white gel pen. I love these because they're really good to do like outlines on. This is a Uniball Signo Broad, and it's really good to do like spots and things like that with, shading and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I've got some coloured gel pens and stuff. But you don't have to spend a lot of money on pens. The good thing to do is to have a good set of felt tips. I'm missing one because I was just using them. I've obviously got my Papermate Flair Broads that I've just shown you, but these are my favourites. These are the Pentel Art colour pens. It does annoy me because it's spelt wrong in the UK. I think they are American. They must be. And yeah, I absolutely love these. They are so good to use. They're just great. And they come in this cute little carry case, just snapshot, done. I think these were about, I want to say £12 from HomeSense. So not stupidly expensive for all those. And they last absolutely ages as well. I've had them for a long time. And if you look after them, they do stay nice. Another thing to think about is the type of journal that you want to use. So there's two main ones which I think people kind of go to. A threaded notebook like this, or a traveller's notebook. So a traveller's notebook you'd usually keep in a little case like this one that I showed you earlier. This is just to keep it safe. You can pull them out. These are called inserts. So if you hear people saying like, oh, inserts, I need to get another insert, it's just the little book. That's all an insert is. And basically you can get these in a range of different papers. This one is a stripy one, but I also have a grid one, a wavy one, a dotted one, all sorts of different ones. And these are really nice. I like taking these on holiday. I take usually two books, and I take them on holiday, and that's what I use because they're small, they're really convenient, they're easy to fill up. If you're starting and you're a little bit intimidated by maybe filling up a big book, these are a great thing to use because they're small, so you can fill it up really, really fast, and then you're like, oh, that was satisfying, I'm going to move on to a bigger book. So traveller's notebooks are great. I really, really love them, but like I say, only really for travelling. I don't really use them for everyday journaling. My creative journals I always use are the Argenzio by Paperchase. They're brilliant notebooks. The paper is absolutely gorgeous, and I get this dotted one. This book I've only literally done 2 pages in. And that's because this was my gonna be my creative journal for 2020. However, lockdown happened, so what have I got to put in here? My Furniture was gonna be for kind of every single day, and then I was gonna do like bullet points. I'll just quickly show you. I was gonna do bullet points, and it says for CJ. So for creative journal, and then I was just going to bullet point it and then write it in more detail, put all the ephemera and stuff in here. But I've only got like 4 things that I actually did from January to March, which would warrant me needing to put it in here. So I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe making this into an art journal now, but I'm going off on a tangent. So yeah, I haven't used this yet, but this is the book I use. I love these threaded ones. It pads out really well, as you can see. It has not even broken after getting that fat. So this is a bit of a before and after. Crazy. So yeah, the Argenzios are absolutely brilliant. They're really, really good little notebooks. And splash out a little bit, you know, on your first journal. You might be thinking, oh, I'll go cheap. Don't do that. Get a good notebook, because then you'll want to work in it. If you pick something that's really, really cheap, then you're probably not going to want to work in it because the paper's going to be rubbish. You're not going to have a real good connection with the book. Choose something that you will use and you'll want to use. This was, I think they're 12 quid. So they're not super expensive, especially for how long these last. This usually gives me around 6 months, and that's got 232 pages in. And yeah, it usually gets me about 6 months, but that is 6 months, I should say, like I say, without every single day in it. With every single day, I'm not sure how long this book would keep you for, but yeah, they're brilliant notebooks. So invest in a good notebook. The next thing to think about is, you know, what are my basic supplies that I'm going to need? Well, I'm just going to put some here for you. I keep these in little wallets for ease when I'm doing my journaling kind of in the front room and stuff, which currently I'm always doing. My craft room is out of bounds at the moment. As if you've been in any of my other videos, you'll know it's currently an office as we're all working from home. So my craft room is now a trolley and I've got all these little bits and pieces. So I've got way more than what this. I mean, my sticker collection is ridiculous, and these are just the essential stickers that I've picked out. But with stickers, they're brilliant. If you can't draw, then this is your go-to, guys, honestly. I use all sorts of stickers. You can see them all in here. And yeah, you can get stickers from all over the place. The best places to look are probably places like craft shops, but you can also get them super cheap from places like Amazon. I mean, I got these big set of stickers, and it came with 144 sheets, and I think they were like 13 quid. That is ridiculous. So yeah, just keep a lookout, have a look online, and you can see about stickers. The next thing I'd say is any sort of scrapbook paper that you can get your hands on. I usually get mine, if you're from the UK, get it from The Works. It's really cheap there. It's like £1 a book. And I keep everything. So any little scraps or anything, keep them, because you don't know when you might use those again. So I've got a box full of scraps. These are just the chosen ones that I might use at some point. Magazine cutouts are your best friends, guys, and let me tell you, cutting out magazines is one of the most relaxing things I've ever done in my life. So yeah, you can cut out all sorts of different images. I cut out everything from food to plants to interior design, all sorts of stuff. Because you never know when it might come in handy, you know. So yeah, magazine cutouts, brilliant. And the last thing is like printables. There's some printables in here, as well as, again, a few more magazine cutouts, rub-ons, and just little bits of ephemera, really, little bits and pieces that I've got in here that I can use for various things. And that's all you really need. The other thing is washi tape. So washi tape is basically like masking tape, but you can get them sometimes shiny. So this is a shiny one. It looks a little bit more like sellotape or sticky tape wherever you are. But most of them, I don't know if you can see this, they're like matte. So they're really easy to rip. They're just like masking tape, and you can unpeel them and stick them as many times as you want. You can get washi tape in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You can get them thick like this. You can get them a little bit thinner like this. This is possibly your most standard sized washi tape. And you can get them in like for different festivals, so like, and holidays, so like Christmas, Halloween, all that kind of thing. You can get really quirky ones with pictures on, patterns, honestly all sorts of things. And you might be wondering, what do I need to use washi tape for? Well, they're really good borders for pages. So as you can see here that I'm using, that's washi tape, if you can see that. Some washi tape here and here and here, so you can do borders if you want. I also use it to split up pages and put in kind of, if you've got any, if you're running out of things to say, you can use it to fill the space and make it look pretty. You can also get like glittery washi tape, and you can get washi tape stickers as well. So this is a roll of, looks like a roll of washi tape, but actually these are all individual bits that you can put on your pages. So that's a little bit about supplies. And then when you've got into like the world of crafting, if you're like me and you'll get obsessed with it, you can then look into stamps, stencils, different papers, you know, posher pens, more expensive stuff. But the best thing to do is to start easy. And I actually have a video on cheap and inexpensive journal supplies. If you want to go and look at that, there's like shops recommendations, there's like bits that you can pick up for free in your town or city or wherever, and it just kind of helps you, if you are new, not to spend too much money when you're first starting out. I'd say splash out on your journal, but then keep the rest of it quite cheap, and you should be able to get it from there. So next I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about some lingo that you might hear, and you might be wondering, what does that mean? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is burger. Now, a burger is not something rude, and it's also not Boris Johnson. It's actually a shortened version for bullet journal. So if you hear anybody saying booger, burger, anything like that, it means bullet journal. The next thing, Herbanici, or Herber. Now, a Herbanici is a really expensive brand of notebook that a Japanese company made a few years ago, which then takes us on to Furber and Ferbanici. Now, a Ferbanici, it's spelt like F-A-U-X, so like fur, and that's because this is a fake Herbanici. So because they were so expensive, what people did was they took the ideology of the Herbanici and put it into their own notebooks, and then made the Ferbanici. And this is what I'm saying, if you go over to Elizabeth's channel, she has an amazing video where it really explains what a Ferbanici is. So the next thing that you might hear about is sticker flakes. So what is a sticker flake? Well, a sticker flake is a small sticker that is on its own backing. So this is a sticker flake. This is a sticker flake. All of these are sticker flakes pretty much. Not these are just cut out from a sticker book. But anything like this is a sticker flake. They're just individual stickers basically that don't come in any sort of book or sheet. They're just loose stickers with their own backing. So yeah, it took me ages to work out what a sticker flake was, so I thought I would tell you what one is. And this is my little tin of sticker flakes. The next thing is a tip-in. So you might hear people saying, I've made a tip-in. What on earth is a tip-in? Well, a tip-in is, I'm going to find you one, it's like this. So it's just a piece of ephemera that you might have that you just stick in and you can flip it over. You can also have ones that you can stick here and you can flip out this way. You can have ones which tip up this way. Any way is fine. It's literally just a piece of paper or a card or anything like that that you literally tip in to the book. And that's why it's called a tip-in. So the next thing is ephemera. You might be wondering, what is ephemera? Ephemera is anything that you put into your book. So it's anything like this. So it could be receipts, it could be photos, it could be cutouts, it could be printables, it could be magazine cutouts. Anything like that is ephemera. So all this kind of stuff is different ephemera. The next thing you might hear quite a lot is spread. So, oh my god, that's a really nice spread. Doesn't mean food. A spread in the journal world is basically the look of your pages. So something like this would be a spread. And it's especially in bullet journaling really. So this is a weekly spread, because what we've got here is we've got highlights of the week, and we've also got things like to-do lists. And we've also got things like going on about mental health. And we've also got like a calendar here. So these are spreads. So different pages of on the book. Next, die cut. So you might be wondering what a die cut is. A die cut is literally just a piece of kind of ephemera that you'd buy that's already made. Out of paper, so something like this. This is a die cut. You can also get die cut machines. I recently bought one that I'm going to have to get out and have a look at. But yeah, they're just really nice. They're usually quite thick paper that you can stick in your journal. The next thing is a junk journal. Now, you might be thinking a junk journal is what I used to think a junk journal was. I used to think a junk journal was something where you used to basically save up rubbish or junk or trash and then just stick it into a book. That is not what a junk journal is. A junk journal is usually a journal that is made out of recycled papers or rubbish or anything like that. And finally, a glue book. So a glue book is another sort of type of art journaling. It's kind of a little bit like an art journal and kind of a little bit like a collage book. And it's where you stick all sorts of different bits and pieces together basically to make a nice design. I don't have a glue book, I have an art journal. They are different. Again, Never Hopeless by Elizabeth, she has some videos of glue books on there that you might be interested in. So, how to get started? So, the first thing is you can buy books to help you if you want. Now, I've bought these and I've looked through them and I just like having them now as little things to look back on. This was when I was really into bullet journaling, so this is like a proper guide to show you what bullet journaling is and how to bullet journal efficiently. The other thing you can do is buy kind of art books like this, which shows you how to do hand lettering. You can also get them on like doodling and all sorts of stuff like that. Another good thing to do is literally just to watch YouTube videos. What you're doing right now is a great start. And also by looking on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook groups that I mentioned, anything like that, just to kind of gather some sort of inspiration and kind of see what the type of journaling you want to do is. The next thing is you could buy something like this. So this is a book called This Is Not a Book, and it's something that I started back in 2016. I mean, look at all my little doodles that I did. And basically, I never really finished this, but it's a little bit like Reckless Journal. If you ever had Reckless Journal, it's very, very similar to that. You could also buy something like Reckless Journal, because... Oh, rude. Reckless Journal is just a little book which has prompts in it, and it can help you kind of realise what style you like. So this book was all kind of drawings and things that I'd drawn in here, but I decided that wasn't the style that I liked because I'm not very good at drawing. I mean, look at this Eiffel Tower that I attempted to draw. What is that? So I do not know what this is. So I did like a quote from a book that I liked, and then drew some French things. I mean, the berry is okay, but I mean, that Eiffel Tower is horrendous. So yeah, if you buy something, I'm laughing looking through this. If you buy something like this, then it can help you. I have also done a Reckless Journal, so I'm going to flip through my Reckless Journal when I find it in my house. But yeah, little books like this can really, really help you. Another thing that I think a lot of people say is kind of just write. I never found that helpful at all, because the writing is not my favourite part of journaling. My favourite part of journaling is the arty side, which is why I like doing all my art journaling and all that kind of thing. To be told to just write is not helpful for me, and it just never ever worked. So if you're like me, the best thing to do, make a nice background, watch some YouTube videos, stick stuff on a page, and then write afterwards if you want to. Keep going, do not stop, because this is the biggest thing, is that people start journaling and then they start looking at people's things on Instagram and YouTube and they're like, I could never do that, oh my god, like, I'm gonna stop. Don't do that. Honestly, keep going and you'll end up honestly finding your style and finding something that you want to do. Look at what I used to be like, guys. Look at this. Look at the writing. I mean, everything about it is just not great. But I still love it because it's mine and nobody else has this journal, yeah? No one else has anything that looks like this. So even though it's not my best work, it's still special to me because it's what I started. This is my starting. This is the beginning of Journal with Dolly. So I love it because of that. And just a few things and like tips, and I asked on Instagram, what did you wish that you'd have known before you started journaling about journaling? And I had quite a few comments, so I'm just going to go through them now. It's okay to have ugly pages. Yes, it's absolutely fine to have an ugly page, okay? It's fine to have that. It don't matter. You just turn the page over. I mean, look at this. Turn the page over and just keep going, because it's going to be in a book that looks like this at the end of it. So one page is not going to be matter, alright? And even if you have 7 ugly pages all after each other, that's fine, because it's your journal. And you'll develop and you'll end up having something that looks really, really good. So just keep going. Another thing is you don't have to stick to one style when you're filling a journal up, and that is so true. You can have as many styles and as many things as you want in a journal. You definitely don't have to have one style fits all. You can change it up if you want. It's absolutely fine. Another thing is not to care so much. You're doing this for whatever reason you've chosen. Like I said at the beginning, you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for a new hobby, you're doing it for your family, you're doing it to just have fun. Just keep that in mind all the time when you're journaling. You know, why are you doing it? Don't take yourself so seriously. You don't have to keep worrying about what you're writing or what you're doing. It's fine. It's just a journal, yeah? So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. Do not take yourself too seriously. Don't care too much. At the end of the day, when you start getting your groove, you will know what you want to do, yeah? Another thing is you can write whatever you want and there's no rules. There's no rules how many times a week you journal. There's no rule about that. So don't beat yourself up about it. If you're having a really rubbish week and you don't want to write, that's fine. If you're having a really rubbish week and all you want to do is write, that's also fine. There's no rules. No one's going to come round. The police aren't going to knock at your door and ask you to, oh, you haven't done your journal this week. You need to be arrested. That's not going to happen, yeah? The worst thing that's going to happen is yourself. You're your own worst critic, okay? So it's fine. I've got a whole journal that I have not finished from last year, okay? It looks like this. It's all pretty. There's no writing on the pages because I just couldn't be bothered to write. And that's fine. If you like that, that's cool. So just don't worry about that, okay? Really, really, really don't worry about it. So the last thing that I wish I'd realised is how grateful journaling makes you, and also how life-changing it is, because honestly it is, and I can't stress that enough. Last year, it's going to be really weird because I'm going to come up to the page, but last year my granddad passed away and he loved looking at my journals, okay? And he absolutely loved it until he died. And that is one of my most special things, is that I could write all these things about what he did, what the last times we spent together, everything like that. I've got it in black and white, I've got it in writing, I can read about it. You never know what's going to happen, guys, to yourself, to your family, you just don't know. So your mundane is not boring, okay? It's not, your life isn't too boring to write about or anything like that. It's your life and that makes it special, yeah? So honestly, I can't highly recommend journaling enough. Give it a try, give it a go, don't give up and just keep going. That is my biggest advice. So I hope this video has helped. I know it's been a little bit different in the way that I've presented it because I really wanted to make it more tips focused and kind of a little bit more informative than my usual chatty videos, but I hope you still enjoyed it and I hope it's really helped. If you're a seasoned journaler and you're good at journaling and everything and you've been doing it for a while, pop some tips down below that I might have missed out. That's totally cool. I'm always happy to have that. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you are new here, then please subscribe. I'm nearly up to 1,300. Yay! That's really exciting for me. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you some inspiration and I hope to see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye!